Bring your hips back. Much better. You're not standing, are you?
No.
Okay.
Welcome to Boozy's Lazy Comedy Hour.
It's called stand-up, Boozy.
It was called stand-up, then I broke my hip.
Okay, that's genuinely fair. Well, and we're doing a striptease too. This will be fun.
I was going to wear clothes and I realized it was Anthrocon.
Where's the tie?
You are the legal representation of this con. Wear clothing. This morning, this guy is complaining to me. He's like, oh, we have to do legal funhouse today. I have to go to meetings today. I'm going to be so busy. I'm going to be tired. He's like, no, I have to wear a sports coat, and I hate it.
It is 90 degrees.
Oh, yeah, no. It'd be a shame if you found a sports coat that breathed. I win, asshole.
You can't see it from out there, but we are just soaked in sweat.
Oh, yeah.
This is like the fat man's curse of the year. This guy, fursuiters, I have no sympathy. I've seen you out of them. You're rather fit. I don't get to take my suit off.
They're wearing carpet. We ate a lot of okay, so genuinely didn't know if that one was going to land with this audience, so thank you. Okay, come on, you can't tell me that
It's gotta land with like 1 out of 10 of them.
1.5 out of 10 of them. They're switching. Ladies and gentlemen, both and neither, welcome to I Comedy Better When I've Had a Few!
For legal purposes, we have been asked not to actually have a few on stage this year.
For legal purposes, this is water. Hold on, watch. I really thought it was sealed, and it would make the noise. Yeah, you tell them that it's water. Don't.
I left you a sip.
You left all the vodka. Thank you guys for being here so much. I know, you're here to be in the air conditioning, waiting for Uncle Kage, but instead you get what should have been called the Little Rascals, but they refuse to give us our little scooters.
My friends do call me Spanky.
Are they really your friends? Is that an invitation? In that case, I have a follow-up question. How many holes in the paddle? So, it's been an absolute blast. Is everyone having a good Anthrocon? I absolutely love Anthrocon. Anthrocon is the most furry furcon. Because Anthrocon did what every furry wants to do. A furry sees another furry and says, I want to fill it. And Anthrocon saw Pittsburgh and like, same.
At this point, I'd like to remind you that while Uncle Kage's story hour is PG-13, I've dropped the F-bomb about 20 times on their main stage. There's a reason we're on secondary now.
No. You need to understand. Okay, so somebody just mentioned the bagel incident. Years ago, this one did their first stand-up routine, main stage Anthrocon. And Kage, being the altruistic, amazing person they was, said, not this year, I'm opening for the two of you. Kage went first. It was the nicest thing he could have done. I'm backstage with this one. He's going second, and he is sweating bullets, saying, I don't know if I can do the bagel routine. And I looked at him and said, Kage has said fuck twice. And they immediately looked at me and said,
Okay then.
I'm doing the bagel routine, and possibly something on the Holocaust, and walked away from me.
All right, in my defense, hold on. Put your fucking phones down. Close Twitter. I didn't say I was doing something on the Holocaust. I said I was doing something on the Holocaust Museum's gift shop. There is a difference.
Is there?
Yeah, it's about $20.
God damn it! I hope all of you had safe travels here. As comedians, traveling is what we do. You've heard a lot of comedians, you hear jokes about airline food. Why? Because we get stuck on airplanes. Ha! Okay, we literally get stuck on airplanes because those seats are not made for rotund men. But sometimes, no matter how much you drive, you screwed up. Years and years ago, I had an incident. I had to do the equivalency of a performance for 4 days straight, LARPing. I was out in the forest beating the crap out of my friends with plumbing supplies, as you do at the tender age of 16. Those are your formative years. It was a 4-day event, and at the end of the event, Monday morning, after having not slept for 3 days, I got a phone call and I needed to return home immediately. My friend got into the passenger seat of my very large car. I got in the driver's seat and we started to drive through southern Illinois. Has anyone ever driven through southern Illinois? You have. Could you describe it for me? I'll cut you off there. There is no description because there is nothing there. You heard the old joke, sign in 20 miles? Well, we stole the sign. All it is wind and death. So I was driving through wind and death, going through southern Illinois, trying to stay awake. And in front of me, a school bus. It is dark out. It is the middle of the night, and I want to get home. And in front of me is a rolling van of STDs. Again, a joke I didn't think would land here. So, I did what anyone would do in the middle of nowhere with a school bus in front of me. I sped up to pass the school bus. And the school bus started speeding up. So I started speeding up, and the bus started speeding up. So I looked down at my speedometer and see 120 miles an hour. And I figured, well, I'm already this far, so I put the pedal to the floor and tried to overtake a school bus. You ever have a moment in your life of actual and absolute clarity? I had it. That moment where your brain kicks in and you realize the reality in front of you. And I slowly and carefully stopped the car. That took about a mile. I pulled off to the side of the road and I woke up my friend. And he looked at me and he yelled, "What? I'm so tired. What do you need?" And I said, "I need you to drive." And he goes, "Why?" And I said, "Do you see the school bus?" And he goes, "No." I said, "Do you see the yellow line in the middle of the road?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "I thought that was a school bus for the last 10 miles. Drive, you asshole." Not a smart person. By the way, we have a set list for today. I had to cross off as many "I drove somewhere and almost died" jokes as I could. So I realized that could be my entire set.
So anyways, let me tell you about the time I drove somewhere and almost died. We have anybody here from the Midwest? Yes. Are you all familiar with Ohio? What the fuck's wrong with you all? I was raised in the Bible Belt of the South. Okay?
That's not our problem.
I was raised by Southern Baptists.
We're sorry.
Yeah, so am I. If you're one of the people from Ohio, though, you have no room to talk. I drive a lot of places. I don't like flying. I've had bad flight experiences. Wow, my voice cracked. I'm going through puberty, finally. Somebody call my mom, let her know I have hair where there wasn't any before. Anyways. Oh, Jesus.
What?
No, literally Jesus. So I'm driving through Ohio, and it's maybe 2 in the morning. I'm going to a convention. I'd flown to this convention the year before. However, I'd flown Spirit Air.
We're sorry.
I see a lot of you have flown Spirit Air. Spirit Air, when you're too cheap for Southwest.
You leave my Southwest alone.
Thank you.
Right? They have 2 good seats, and if you beat someone up, you get one.
I love, by the way, this is my one and only experience flying Spirit Air. I got to the airport. I sat down. Halfway through the wait, the gate agent said, I need a volunteer to take a seat on the next flight. Nobody stood. We will pay for the next flight. I started to stand. The gentleman next to me put an arm out without looking, grabbed me and said, no. I looked at him and he goes, there's 1 flight a day. You're not leaving until tomorrow if you do this. Okay then, I get on the plane, right? And there I am, flying to Chicago for a furry convention on Spirit Air out of Baltimore. I sit down in my plastic seat. I make sure I have change for the pay toilet. And I look up and there's a gentleman coming down the aisle and he is wearing a Fox Motorsports hat. And when you see that hat going to Chicago in early December, you get to play a game I like to call Redneck or Furry. Kid came down, sat down next to me, we exchanged pleasantries, and the plane took off. And I looked over and I said, so, what are you going to Chicago for? And he goes, oh, I'm going to meet some friends. Not answering my question. I still have wonders, what are you and your friends doing? Oh, we're fans of some things, okay? You're being cagey, I'm not sure about this. As the plane is taxiing down the runway with my last bit of signal, get on social media and send out a tweet. And the tweet reads, there is a kid next to me going to Chicago who's visiting friends. He is wearing a Fox Motorsports hat. I wonder if he is a furry. I put my phone down, we take off. As we are going through the air, we chat a little bit, we land. The phones come back out. He turns his on, and I hear the ding of a telegram message. So now my question's been answered. But I'm on stage at MFF all weekend. And he obviously does not recognize me. That is not a bad thing. Because I decide I'm gonna fuck with him. So, go to Chicago for friends, huh? Yeah. Where in Chicago? Well, it's sort of outside of Chicago. Oh. Where? Well, it's in Rosemont. Oh, Rosemont, Illinois. I didn't know there was a lot going on there that weekend. What's going on there this weekend? Gathering of people.
You're the devil.
What are the people? What are the people gathering for? They're fans of cartoons. Oh, I like cartoons. What cartoons? Now, I want you to understand that when I say this was a kid, this was a kid. This guy was like 20, 21. I am not 20, 21 years old. I look like your dad if your dad made a lot of bad life choices. I understand his nerves, and he's very quiet, trying to think of how to answer this. And as he does, his phone dings again. And he looks down at the message. and goes, "Oh, shit." I go, "What?" And he holds up his phone to a telegram message from his friend with a picture of my tweet that read, "I am on the Spirit Airlines flight from Baltimore, sitting next to a kid in a Fox Motorsports hat trying to figure out if he is a furry." And he goes, "Are you Boozy Badger?" I go, "Hi, how are you?"
You are really the devil, man. It's fun. It's actually weird. You had a really nice encounter with somebody who just didn't know how to deal with it. Like, it is hard, right? As furries, when somebody asks you what furry is, it's not hard because we're embarrassed. It's not hard because we really care what they think. It's hard because furry means so many different things to so many different people. And yet, there are wrong answers. I was standing outside. I had to do an interview for a convention. I had a news crew in front of me. They very loudly and clearly asked me, as news crews do, "So what does the furry fandom mean to you?" And from behind me, I hear a person whom I know, which did not bode well for them. "Pheasants are hot!" And I couldn't resist. I looked at the camera. Well, there's that. We do a lot of random stuff for cons. For any of you who have volunteered out there, by the way, thank you. It's so important in a volunteer organization like this for us to have that help. And for anyone who's staff, board, or anything like that out there, my hat is literally off to you. It takes a lot sometimes, and it can take a lot out of you. Every once in a while, it's just too much. Like last year at Anthrocon. Last year at Anthrocon, I got here on Tuesday. It was my first year running the block party. I was a little stressed. The messages I had been getting that day ranged from, "Is that really a fire we need to call a fire truck for?" to, "So do we need to peace bind firearms if they're outside?" Thank you, that was the scary one. To my absolute favorite, "I don't know how much whipped cream I'm going to be able to get my hands on before Saturday." There was also a lot of other stuff going on. Things happened, and I was done. I drive a van all over the country to do these things. It's wonderful. I love having this thing. It's fun to drive. It's a great place to rest on the side of the road. And it has accordion doors, so if I need to piss on the side of the highway, fuck you, I'm doing it there. But this time I just needed to get away. Now, a lot of you know me. You know my habits. I went down to the van. I sat outside the DoubleTree on a one-way street. I lit a joint and I put on my radio. And as I'm sitting in the van smoking, a song came on. Now, I've known this song forever. The song holds a little bit of meaning to me. This was just the wrong time for it. Mothers, it's all right, it's okay. Allow me. Oh, hey, I had a night, I had a day. I did 1 million stupid things. I said 1 billion foolish things. I'm not okay. I got a baseball bat beside my head to fight off what's inside my head, to fight off what's behind my meds. I'm lonely, lost in pain, and I am sobbing uncontrollably in my van. I cannot deal. I am taking the largest by BoJack Horseman level of hit off a joint. I watched as the cherry just expanded like Russia's control over far too many things. And as I leaned out my window, my eyes blood red, tears streaming down my face, wearing a top hat and a silly coat, I exhaled right into a cop car. Out of my window and into theirs. You're welcome, officer. But you need to realize what they saw, because as they got the whiff of my putrid Chicago skunkiness, they look over and see a grown man who is desperately trying. They looked over and saw this, but like this, and they drove away. There's a lot of random things that can happen to you in your life that will immediately change your headspace. Hotboxing 2 cops and then going, I get it, that's gonna do it immediately. That was a good year. I admit to illegal things on stage and you hate it.
One of these days you're getting arrested, and I'm gonna laugh.
If it happens on stage, we're gonna make so much for charity.
Actually, it makes a really good point, because there are a lot of things that you encounter in life that will immediately change your perspective on things. I am an adult, ostensibly. I'm an educated professional. I was not always an adult. There was a time I was a young adult. That's right, that magical time of 20, 21, 22, 23. You know, what I like to call the bad decision years. Now, in that time frame, I had a habit of going places I probably should not be. I had turned old enough to drink. I'd met a number of interesting and wonderful people. And one of them was my friend Ronnie. Ronnie, to this day, is kind of weird. And weird people, I don't know if you've noticed this as you look around the room of people in box ears, tend to attract each other. Ronnie had moved into an old Victorian house on the other side of my town with a gentleman named Tim. I had never met Tim before, but Ronnie called me one night and said, "We're having a party, you should come." And I said, "I don't know. I've never met your roommate. I'm not going to know anyone there. You're the only one I know." And he said, "It's an open bar," and I said, "I will be there at 7. I drove out there to this Victorian house. It looked a little rundown, looked a little ramshackle. We got inside. I found out this was a pool feeling party. Yes, that's exactly. We walked around feeling pools. A pool filling party. There was a collection of people I did not know, many of them not wearing clothing. And in this house, which was scattered with taxidermied animals, old books, drawings on the walls, is my friend Ronnie. And I go, "Ronnie, how do you live here?" And he goes, "Well, Tim's mom pays me to live with him." So that's a good sign. I go, "Well, I don't know how long I'll stay." And he goes, "Oh, no, man, you got to hang out for a little bit. I mean, you at least got to meet Tim. You know, you've been living there for a while. I hadn't met his roommate. You at least got to meet Tim." I go, "Well, I guess that I could meet Tim." And then from behind me, at about knee level, I hear a voice go, "Hello." Now, I jumped about 8 feet in the fucking air. I turned around, and there behind me was a man, probably about 30 years old, about this tall, leaning on a walking stick, wearing a vest, with a pencil-thin mustache and a single cigarette. And I went, "Oh, I'm high, okay." At which point he said, "I assume you're Ronald's friend." "I'm Timothy." "Nice to meet you, Timothy." Yes. Welcome to my home. It's very nice." Now, I turn around to look for Ronnie. Ronnie's fucking gone. I figure Ronnie has gone into the kitchen or the backyard where the keg is. But I smoke, and I was going to be polite. I always do when I'm in someone's home, and I decided to make small talk. And in the small talk, I looked at his roommate, and I said, "Tim, where can I smoke? Is it outside? Is it inside?" He's, "You're free to smoke any way you wish." would you like some cigarettes? And I go, yes. And he goes, you may help yourself to some. They're in the kitchen. Oh, okay. Just dispose of the butts in the walls.
What?
Yeah. You think you're fucking confused? I'm 22 years old and sober, talking to a small man that I think is a hallucination, telling me to put cigarette butts in the walls after he offers me free cigarettes in his kitchen, okay? You're just gonna fucking roll with it, because I had to. He toddles off, I go in the kitchen. Ronnie is in the kitchen. And I say, Ronnie, I met Tim, and he goes, he's an interesting guy. And I go, that's one word for it, bud. He did tell me, though, that I could have some cigarettes. He goes, oh, did he? Yeah. Where are the cigarettes? From behind. They're in the freezer. Holy shit! Like a tiny ninja, he's at my fucking, like, nose to asshole behind me. Where'd you come from? Don't worry. They are in the freezer. What are the cigarettes? Okay, hey Ronnie, why did Ronnie's fucking gone again? I opened the freezer. There were cigarettes in the freezer. There was nothing else in the freezer. It was just cigarettes. Fucking floor to roof cigarettes. Frozen Marlboros. You may have as many as you want. Stop fucking doing that! That's weird. This is a weird situation, right? I'm in a dilapidated house with a man in a waistcoat and a pencil-thin mustache with a walking stick offering me frozen cigarettes, and my friend keeps disappearing. So, of course, I load my pockets up with free cigarettes. Like just shoving cartons in them, because they're free, right? At which point, Tim looks at me and goes, would you like to see my collection? I'm not an intelligent man. And that's why I said, yeah. Wonderful. It's in the basement. I'm looking at him, I'm like, his legs are like a foot long, I can outrun him. I've obviously never seen the movie Leprechaun.
Oh my God!
Or I would have known better. So he leads me down to the basement, and I know what you are picturing. You are picturing the long stairwell down into a basement with like one flickering light, the bare brick walls and cobwebs, right? Yeah, exactly fucking like that. There we are descending below an old house into what I can only assume is going to be the skinning room. And we get to the bottom and we turn a corner, and before my eyes is a Blockbuster Video. In his basement, Tim had constructed a perfect replica of a Blockbuster Video. Now keep in mind, you're thinking, oh, he likes retro stuff. It was 2001. They were still open.
Was he stocking the latest movie?
Tim's going through here. This is my collection. As you can see, I have many things. And he does. These are shelves of VHS tapes. And I don't mean like Jurassic Park and shit like that. No, these are things like Meet the Feebles. Art films that are out of print. Single runs of Hollywood, like independent films made on $20 with a hope and a prayer. And I'm looking at it, and I go, oh my God, man, you have a wonderful collection here. He goes, you may have them if you like. What? You may have them. Feel free. I don't want to take your movies. There's rare movies here. He goes, oh, I don't collect the films. I collect the boxes. So there I am, shoving copies of Meet the Feebles in my pockets with the cigarettes. when I go back upstairs and I find Ronnie again. And Ronnie goes, did he show you the collection? I go, yeah. He goes, you should go outside now. I walk out back to where the swimming pool, has almost finished filling. And in that backyard are a lot of naked cute people. I used to be cute. And I joined in. We played chicken in the pool, we swam in the pool, we had a wonderful time in the pool, and Tim came out to review it, a Marlboro in his little hand. I believe I shall go to the bathroom and drink some laudanum now. What the fuck? We are once again back in the 1800s. I look for Ronnie, who moments ago was playing chicken with me in the pool naked. Ronnie's gone again. I've decided I have enough, and I leave. I'm walking to the door. And as I open the door, like I'm sitting there, and as I open the door, the cops are there. And I'm going, well, I know none of us called the cops. And definitely not because Tim said he was going to go overdose on laudanum. That just happened, and I live in a city where you're lucky if the cops respond within 20 minutes if you're naked with a gun in the middle of the street. So, I figure it's a noise complaint. And as I am getting ready to say something, it hits me. While everyone there was 18, the vast majority of the people in the back were not 21. We're all going to jail. Unless I say the one thing that can save us. The dope fiends in the bathroom drinking laudanum. The cops look at each other and go up the stairs. 2 by 2, I turn around, run into the backyard and yell, if you're not 21, get out, the police are here. At which point, naked twinks leap the fence into the alley to go running nude and wet into the night. I look up, a guy in a top hat's just circling from a roof.
I was off that day.
I turn around to leave, the police are coming back downstairs and go, hey you, we need your name. And I go, no you don't, I don't live here. Well, who does live here? I go, have you met Ronnie?
So let's continue the stories about the times I almost died. I already told you I do this LARPing thing. I had done that for most of my life. I'd actually got Boozy over here to try it a few times. Boozy LARPed a little differently than everyone else. People go out to LARP, they forget reality, and they go be heroes. Boozy went out to LARP, he immediately said, I'm playing a coward.
People who go places die.
They didn't leave the tavern for 2 days. What happened when the tavern had got attacked, Boozy?
Well, a bunch of twinks, naked and wet.
It's fun, it's a great hobby, and of course, like I do with all my great hobbies, I just start running it at some point. So me and my team were running a 3-day event at Newark, Chicago. We had been out for 3 days running around, plumbing supplies to the face, always fun. But we're done. I was very close with my group. We had been writing story for 3 years together, to the point that since we owned the campsite that we LARPed on, we had built a little dwelling for the plot team. Now, we weren't great engineers, or engineers. I don't think we owned a hammer, but we did figure out one thing. A bunk bed is a genius idea. Stackable humans. So why isn't there a third? We built the human shelving unit. Bed 1 starts right here. Bed 2 is right here. Bed 3 is right here. And the ceiling is, I don't know, right here. Next to the bed was my old queen mattress from home. That went to Tim and Hannah, because they were a married couple. and we didn't want them sleeping that close together because we knew what would happen. The night is over. They had all been running this game with me for days. We have gotten some sleep, but not much. We are warm, we are exhausted, and we are in air conditioning. Tim and Hannah walk into the room, immediately strip down, crawl into the bed, and let us know that covers are a luxury that we cannot afford. Myself lies down on the bottom shelf. John the human, who you might know, lies down on the second shelf. And our friend PHB, pale-haired bastard, a half albino with glowing red eyes that would beat the shit out of anyone who would ever call them PHB. I miss him. You ever been going to sleep and you actually feel it coming? You know you've won. You have beaten the day. You are definitely going to be able to relax, close your eyes, and let sleep wash over you like the arms of Orpheus washing over your body, almost paralyzing you. And I was right there, laying in my bed, and then Godzilla attacked me. Wasn't actually Godzilla, because you see, when you're in that state, anything that touches you is going to feel weird, and June bugs are quite large. A June bug had landed on my shoulder. I assumed, seeing as I had been in strict combat for 3 days, that this was my moment. Fight or flight, baby. I chose flight. Bunk 1. Bunk 2. My height. As I sit up and slam my head into the bunk above me, making a large, hollow noise that is worrisome to this day. The noise sending shockwaves through the wood, through the mattress, through the John. John became startled, and what do you do if you've been in combat for 3 days? Fight or flight, baby! So John sat up. There was yet another hollow sound. As John sits up and slams his head into the bunk above him, PHB, who is now curious about the 10-piece brass band that now exists solely underneath him, leans over the bed just in time for me to start cursing and trying to lay back down and hitting my head on something else. I don't even know what. And they laugh so hard they fall out of the bed. So now it's raining twinks. I have naked albinos flying past me. I have John screaming and cursing. I have a concussion. And no center of gravity. When you are as large of a person as I am, and as fat as I was at that time, your center of gravity is nowhere. It's anywhere you don't want it to be. So as I tried to get out of my little hobbit hole bed, I found that the center of gravity at that point was my injured forehead, which sent me flying into the double bed where my nude married friends were sleeping, and I found out how soft the male ass can be. As I slammed my forehead off my good friend's ass, his wife, who has been watching this entire thing, yells, "Run from the June bug, Dan! Tim's ass is safety! Burrow, Dan, burrow!" Concussions are fun.
I hope you are catching the common thread of all of our stories tonight so far has been community. Being a member of a wonderful and great community, be it antagonizing the young man on the flight, be it mistaking a double yellow line for a school bus while driving with friends from an event, burrowing into your friend's ass, or meeting a tiny little strange leprechaun that collects videos. And it's important to be a member of a community. When I was young, it was very important to me, as a queer man, to find a community. I did. I did in a local community, and they helped me through a lot of things. The older queers in our community taught me a lot of things, told me a lot of things. They helped me through my first breakup. My first breakup, wonderful relationship. You know that first breakup, right? Right? And if you don't, you will. I hate to tell you, look at your partner, it's coming. Anyways.
Okay, all right, I know I just heard one yep from the audience.
This story's for you. I had, after I came out, I had dated somebody, wonderful person, just great. And as it happens, things did not work out. That happens with a lot of young relationships. Now at that time, I'd started spending a lot of time in a nightclub. And spending that time in the nightclub, I became familiar with a lot of the drag performers at that nightclub. And they passed on a lot of wisdom. They kind of took me under their wing, were very pleasant, talked to me about a lot of things. There was one named Hurricane. And Hurricane was a 50-year-old rotund gentleman, about like me, who did a spot-on Tina Turner. And sounded like Harvey Firestein. Sounded like they had smoked 18 packs of frozen Marlboros a day. One night, I am in that bar. I am upset. I'm having an emotional moment. I'm still getting over the breakup. And Hurricane came out after their show and saw me at the table and came over and said, "Oh, honey, what's wrong?" And Hurricane, I just tried. I can't get over it. And Hurricane goes, I know it's hard, but I know how to get you through it. And I said, how? And they said, take this napkin and take this pen and write down the names of all of the friends you two had. And I go, okay. And they go, now screw them. What? Screw them. All of them. So that's how I met Ronnie, by the way. Now, years later, that may not have been the best advice on the face of the earth, but years later, I got a chance to pass all of that on. I'd gone to college, I dropped out of college. And then I went back to college. And when I went back to college in about 2004, 2005, my college in the American South had formed a gay-straight alliance, which was the LGBTQ club name at that time. And I became the vice president of that chapter. And I got to meet these kids, most of them coming in from the country. They had never had a chance to be themselves. And I got to be a mentor and a friend and a guide to them and help them through these things and help them feel comfortable with themselves. And that was beautiful, that was wonderful. And I always said, anytime, day or night, if you have a problem, you can knock on my door. My door is open. So at 2 a.m. one night, I got a knock on my door. It was one of the young guys in the club, and they were just in tears, just sobbing. And of course, I'm thinking, oh God, did they come out to their parents? Have they been disowned? What's happened? I said, are you okay? He broke up with me. He broke up with me. I go, oh God, I know, that's hard, that's rough. It's first relationship, right? Yeah. Oh, come on in, baby. Come on in, sit down. You know, sometimes things just don't work out. And you're always going to be better for the experience. And, you know, when you've been together as long as you two were, how long were you together? 3 weeks, get out. What? There are times that you can knock on my door, but this one could have waited till breakfast. I don't know how to get out of it. And I thought, you know, I've been here. I need to give them guidance. So I looked at that young man and I said, oh, honey.
Yeah, all right, though. Community is so cool. I'm telling you LARP stories today because that was my community before Furry. That's where I started. That's where I kind of broke out of my shell. That's where I started being the awkward person that wanted to hit you with plumbing supplies and being the awkward person that did hit you with plumbing supplies. It really helped. But over the years, I actually became very ingrained in the group that ran the LARP, to the point where I ran the campsite. And we would rent out that campsite to other groups. Northern Illinois University was 20 miles from where we used to play. And Northern Illinois University loved to rent out our campsite for musical events. We had a Filk concert there. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's amazing. We had local bands there constantly. I thought that was so much fun. And that was when I found out the guy who actually ran the LARP was so out of touch, they did not understand what they had done when they agreed to run the NIU EDM concerts. I'm so glad some of you know where this is going, because he didn't. People started arriving at our campsite on Thursday. Now, we had enough room to easily house 2,000 people. On day one, we had 1,000 cars in the field that we have declared to be overflow parking, asterisk, if it rains, you're not leaving. My buddy Bill is doing check-in, registration. They are the only person. You hand them a $10 bill, they give you a thing, you're out, we're done, we're fine. That shouldn't be that much of a problem. But it is Thursday. We are 10 minutes into being open, and a young couple walks in, and Bill, who is my weight, and I don't know, Tim's height, about right here, very, very round, wonderful man. A couple walks in and says, "How much is it to get in?" He goes, "For $2.20. And she goes, "How about now?" And Bill goes, "Mine are better." We are 10 minutes into the event, and my co-captain is not ready for this. We start to have incident after incident. The toilet paper from the outhouses, from all the bathhouses. Wrong word. Shut up! They're gone. Industrial rolls of toilet paper. 40 of them, 50 of them, because we just put them in there. They're gone. We have gone out to a security complaint. Some people have set one of our picnic tables on fire because, and I quote, "Your wood was expensive." As myself and Steve are standing there, we drove out there in the gas-powered golf cart. From behind me, I hear as the golf cart drives away. I'm fat and lazy, that's not my problem. Steve is old and spry. The rest of the day, all I saw in the background. This is where we run LARP. I was the head of plot at this time. Steve was nice enough to give me my own shed. Why did I have my own shed? Because sheds could be locked. Why did I need a locking shed? Because I had a pyrotechnics license. I was the pyrotechnic for our LARP, and inside this shed was not fireworks that you go over to Shelton and buy. Inside this shed is the fireworks that we use to start wars. In-game, in Minecraft. The shed has been broken into. My stuff is gone. The barn has been broken into. A canoe is gone. It is problem after problem after problem. But finally, it's getting later at night. I get a call, they're gonna have me handle it because of my particular set of skills. In other words, it's a drug-related problem. We have just caught 2 youths. Now I need to be very clear on this, youths. I don't want to ruin their life. Because these 2 idiots had borrowed the car from their brother. These 2 idiots paid their brother for the lending of the car. How did they do that? By selling their brother's magic mushrooms. In a Tupperware container with their mother's name written on it. Selling mushrooms. I'm not going to ruin their lives. Guys, give me that. You have a car here. You're going to sit in that car. You're going to sober up. And in the morning, by 8 a.m., when I check, you're not going to be there, right? Fine. Also, I got a Tupperware container full of magic mushrooms out in the deal. And the name of their mom. So, we're kind of done for the night. We've gotten back the golf cart, empty of gas. We've picked up the trash. The security team is wandering, but my core team, 20 of us, are sitting around a fire all the way at the back of the campsite, enjoying the night. And as we enjoy the crisp skies of northern Illinois, the lack of light pollution of being out in the middle of nowhere, we saw the most beautiful thing. The lake exploded. Now let's see who was paying attention. It's weird running events. A security team, a safety team. I've told you this at First Furcon. None of them are here to stop your good time. If you want the real idea of what a volunteer security team does, their job is to keep the 1% of you that are psychopaths from finding each other. That's all we want. Because one of you is bad. A group of you is thermonuclear. Not how you say that word. What did they do? Well, they stole the golf cart, got it away from Steve, drained the gas. They went to the bathrooms. They got all the toilet paper. They took the toilet paper off the rolls. They went to the barn. They stole a canoe. They put the canoe into the lake. They lined it with the toilet paper. They have gas. They soaked the toilet paper in gas. They have $5,000 worth of high explosives that they then put into the canoe. They take one of my wicks and staple it to the canoe. They kick the canoe out to the center of the lake. Do you guys know the difference between a green fuse and a yellow fuse? There are some of you who do. Don't get ahead of me, you assholes. If you're ever playing with fireworks and you have an extra green wick, that is a normal wick. They burn at a set rate, at a set temperature. They are really fun to play with. It's how you wire together multiple explosives. Sometimes you need it to be faster. Yellow wick is quick burn wick. They kick the boat, they put fire to string, and instantaneously, to this day, at that campsite, in a tree across the beach from the lake, is a part of a canoe. No one got hurt, thankfully. A lot of fish. But I tell you that story just to say this. If that's the story about volunteering that I was okay to tell you on stage, imagine what I'm not telling you. Get out there, volunteer, you will have stories to last a lifetime.
I opened by telling you how I embarrassed a young man on a plane. I'd like to tell you what goes around comes around. Not too long ago, I took a flight to the same Midwest convention, but I did not fly Spirit Air this time. I flew a real airline with assigned seating. That's right, I got fancy. And there I was in the airport, getting on the plane, sitting down. I look up, and coming down the aisle is a bishop. It is a priest wearing the largest crucifix I have ever seen in my life. I contacted a friend of mine whose husband was a former priest who advised me that based on the size of the crucifix, that was most likely a bishop, because apparently the crucifixes get larger as you advance in ranks in the church, which means the Pope has Jesus on a semi-truck somewhere. I realize that he keeps coming towards me, and I'm getting a little nervous as Bishop Flava Flav there takes a seat beside me for this flight as I am going to a furry convention. And I am thinking to myself, dear God, if you love me, just do me this one favor, let us not talk. And no sooner does the prayer pass my lips than the priest says, and why are you going to Chicago, my son? So I looked at him and I said, technically, Father, I'm going to Rosemont. Why? To meet some friends. Oh, what do you plan on doing? We're going to a convention. Oh, what type of convention? Porn? So he touched down in Chicago. I asked him if he wanted to come. He said no. We touched down in Chicago. I get to the hotel, and I have been thinking the entire ride there about the young man on my first flight. And I'm thinking, surely that is my punishment, right? That was my retribution for embarrassing that young man until I got to the hotel and tried to get into my room, and they told me my room was not ready. And my room remained not ready at noon, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 5, at which point I walked up to the desk and said, I don't know what's going on in that room, but if someone killed a hooker, leave it. I need to take a shower. I smell like priest. Ladies and gentlemen, both and neither. Coming up on this stage right now is our good friend and your conjure, one of the funniest men in the furry fandom, Uncle Kage. So stick around for him. I am Boozy Badger.
I am Uncle Louie. Thank you so much, and good night!
Hello.
All right, since he's never late, I'm going to just stand up here and make fun of Uncle Kage until he gets here. Okay, usually the moment I say that, he usually runs onto the stage, so now I'm at a loss.
I just opened one up over there.
Always on time. That's how it works. You have no idea. This is Uncle Kage. The first time I performed at a Furcon, Uncle Kage allowed me to open for him. He said, go ahead, take 5 minutes, have fun. 20 minutes later, I got the look of death from your con chairman.
Right.
Hey, look, am I? Where the hell is he? Where the hell is he? Ladies and gentlemen, both and neither, your con chair, Uncle Kage!
Just a small service announcement. If you have an open seat next to you and it's not a special reserved seat, please let people get in that seat. We're putting asses in seats right now. Thank you very much. Make room for everyone.
Yeah, just push in, okay? Yeah. Yeah, all right. Oh. Hello. I see the interference crew back there. A lot of my stories involve the Eurofurence crew. Oh, hey, Vic. How you doing?
Empty seats over there.
$30,000.
Oh my God, were you getting your steps in?
30,000.
Oh, he's getting
Tell me when to start.
All right, let's try this one more time. Now that they have taken 30,000 steps and want to die, that's where comedy comes from. Let's hear it one last time for your con chairman, the one, the only, Uncle Kage!
Thank you all so much. I'm a little tired out today. I can't for the life of me figure out why. Guess it's just age. Yeah, whatever the hell that is, something like that. I'm gonna try to keep my wits about me. Does everybody understand the lingo at Anthrocon when somebody talks about the sword and the sword being drawn? Okay, who does not understand what that means?
I can guess.
Well, for those of you who don't understand, I'll tell you. The rest of you, go get a pretzel or something. About 10 years ago, thereabout, plus or minus, our guest of honor was Lee Tokar. I'll slow that down so Vic can spell it out better. This is Vic, by the way. He's one of my oldest friends in my life. Absolutely am not, promise, swear to God, going to make him say anything like, I am big, look at my colossal biceps that are so sexy that Kage dreams about all night long. Yeah, I'm a dick, I know. Oh, I'm sorry. Uncle Kage is a dick for making me say this. All right. I'm going to take it back a few years. Lee Tokar was our guest of honor. Now, Lee is a voice actor. You might have heard his voice on My Little Pony, among a lot of other things. Lee is also a veteran of the convention circuit. And using his astute powers of perception, he saw me in the lobby, and he got the idea that I was somehow stressed. And he came up and he said, let me take you across the street. You need to relax. I said, no, I don't want to know. You're busy. Can't you just go away, go away. Who the hell are you anyway? Oh, Lee. Oh, hi. Sorry. I can't. I got too much. He said, I'll buy you a drink. Oh. Just one. So we went across the street to what used to be Tenpenny over there. And we sat down. He ordered a glass of Riesling. For me, that is. And I of course was doing the chairman fingers. Yep. And Lee was fantastic. He said, I'd ask you what's going on, but I know you wouldn't tell me anyway. Let's just relax. Let's talk about anything but the con. And I said, Lee, you're a sweetheart. Thank you very much. The Riesling came. He took it from the waiter. He handed it to me. He got his. We raised our glasses. I brought the glass to my lips. That's when I heard the siren. And that's when the Pittsburgh Fire Service started pulling up in front of the Westin. Started getting unloaded, firemen getting off in bunker gear, unrolling hoses. I looked at Lee. I put the wine down, and I walked casually across the street. By the way, is anyone here a child or any other person under the age of 18? I'll take, oh, you are? Oh, heck. Gee Willikers, I'll try. Honest, I'll try. Cover their ears if, you know. I wish someone had gotten this on film. This was, okay, we still hadn't gotten quite to the cell phone revolution back then, where it wasn't every person with a camera. I wish there was a video of firemen with the Darth Vader masks, and then the hoses over their shoulders, coming into the West, and me right next to them. Who the hell set my hotel on fire? Was it you? Was it you? I went storming upstairs to the floor where it had been reported. I remember the fire chief saying something to the effect of, I'm sorry, sir. He can say that. It's my hotel. I went bursting up on I think it was the 9th floor or something, and nothing was going on, which on one hand was a relief. And I said, what happened? It turned out some dip shoe had been vaping in the hall. And somebody said, excuse me, anglomerer, you should not be vaping in the hall. And the anglomerer went right under the sensor. Okay. Fire alarm? Little bit of panic? But that messes up the elevators. Don't dick with my elevators. If you want to live to see another sunrise. And don't test me. I said, who was it? Nobody could point him out to me. This was a problem. Because at Anthrocon, my staff have likened me to a samurai sword. Once it's drawn, it must taste blood. I was upstairs going, Talon, our operations chief, Talon, magnificent guy, good friend. He came upstairs. He tried to stop me. I didn't draw on him. He said, what's wrong? I said, I need something. I need to find someone to kill. Give me somebody. All right. Here's what I do. We're going up the hall. Oh, all right, anything. I gotta find something. Anything at all. Anything. All right, no, this is not good. Up the stairs, next floor. Alan's behind me, dude. Wait, no. Down the hall, the next hall. No, it's not here, up in the next floor. We did this until about floor 15. I hear a loud party. And inside here, oh my God, it's a Kage. Music stopped. Right there. The door opened, just a crack, and a face peeked out, and I said, Taliesin, is that enough? I said, no! Next floor, up to 16. Get me up to 16. Anything. What do we got here? What? Oh.
Hold on.
Here's a sign taped to the door with duct tape. The sword was satisfied. It's not the only time that's happened. Last year, now, okay. One thing I love about furries is their boundless creativity. That's what I hate about you too. Anytime I think I had seen everything furries can dream up to make my life hell, some determined person gets creative. And sometimes it's not you guys. Sometimes it comes from within. Last year, I do not wish to speak ill of the dead, but last year, one of our programming people that I threw into the river. Is the lawyer here? Good, go! Perfect, great. Okay, I'm joking. I am making fun, okay? The programming staff at Anthrocon, like all of my staff, is the best in the business. Okay, I know every con chair says that, but they're full of crap. I mean it. And I got a PhD, so you know I'm an expert at this thing. The programming chief last year wanted to do something nice for me. On Saturday, we're having a cocktail cruise. Uncle Kage, you should be on the cocktail cruise. And my answer was, I don't want to go on no cocktail cruise. I gotta be here. What if the phone? People being creative. I don't want to. He said, trust your staff. They can take care of it. You will enjoy the cocktail cruise. I said, you don't understand. I won't. I will be so keyed up. I will be so anxious. I will be so upset and nervous the entire time. If I'm up the road in a restaurant, I can kick the door open and be here in 60 seconds flat. Wow. If I'm out in the middle of the river, it's going to take me 3 minutes to swim. He said, it will be fine. That's going to be on my tombstone, by the way. I said, okay, I'll go on your fabulous cruise. The kids did, yes. One condition. There had better, gosh darn, be a bottle of Riesling on that boat. I was assured there would be. The day came. The appointed time came. I went down to the boat. And as I was getting on, I said to the person who's checking your ticket at the front, I said, could you ask the captain a favor for me? I would like to stand on the starboard bridge wing and like wave to people as we leave. I understand if there's regulations. I just thought I would ask. He said, well, typically we don't allow anybody up near the pilot house, but I'll put the request in. So, he came back about 2 minutes later. He looked very surprised. He said, actually, the captain said, fine. He asked me to bring you up. I went, oh, okay. Who's you? Went upstairs. Okay. I was introduced to the captain. I brought my friend Andre from Germany, the U-boat tourist, who had to take pictures. Then the captain shook my hand, and he said, typically we would say no to that request, but you know what a starboard bridge wing is, so I figured you're cool. So, the vessel pulled away, big paddle wheel, keep on turning, Proud Mary burning, all that stuff. I went downstairs, everyone's settling in, I went to the bar, hello, miss, I'd like some Riesling, please. She said, oh, we don't have any of that. Maybe you misunderstood me. Riesling. She said, we have Pinot. I said, do you know a guy at the corner named Frenchie by any chance? Some of you know that too. I said, okay, no. R-I-E. She said, E-I-N. And I said, that's okay. I went out on deck. Andre was out there. Andre said, was machst du? Because it's German. I said, Andre, tell my mother I love her. If the current pulls me over, I'm going swimming. Andre, bless his heart, would not let me dive into the churning waters of the Allegheny. What you must understand about the Allegheny is that, number one, there is a terrible undertow in that river. This is why we have river rescue down there. The other thing is, you won't stand around long enough to drown, you'll dissolve first. I can say that because I'm from Philadelphia. Andre will tell you, the entire time I was pacing the deck like Captain Ahab. It's no Riesling, Riesling. I must get it. I look like Gregory Peck. Where's my Riesling? Bless you. The convention happened. Everybody went home. I contacted that same program chief. And I said,
Running the wrong way.
dude, yes, going the wrong way. What? What?
Hand the camera that way.
What?
He's trying to get her on the
We're
plane.
trying to get the ESL on the screen, so people...
Oh, okay, we'll do this. Okay, anyway. It's okay? Okay. I was going to make another bisect joke, and I didn't realize Lauren had taken over. Show the biceps, Lauren. Show just this Lauren, she works out too. So anyway, he did a little research. As it turned out, there was a bottle of Riesling on that vessel. It was behind the bar, and it was reserved for Dr. Conway. But the bartender said, we didn't know who that was. So the sword didn't necessarily come forth. We reserve that sword for when stuff happens. You might have heard the expression, stuff happens, under various different monikers. One of the few comforts in my life as a convention chairman is that stuff happens to other chairmen too. And when it does, I just sit there at the bar saying, having a little trouble there, Tito, are you? Yeah, just give me a call if you need anything. I'll call someone to help you. More Riesling, please. R-I-E. There is another convention I will not name, out of respect. It is one of my favorite conventions. I have the deepest reverence for their staff. The only better staff is mine. My staff is excellent. Theirs is only X. Excel. Okay, Excel, maybe. Copyright 2001 Microsoft. Anyhow. That's because the lawyer's back here, right? They were the first ones to suffer one of these phone calls. Let me explain what happened. It was opening ceremonies. I was sitting in the audience. I was sitting with a lawyer and someone. Again, I don't want to mention any names. We'll just call him Soda Lime. I'm sitting with a lawyer and my buddy Soda Lime. That's his name. And opening ceremonies is happening. And, Hernandez is up there, he's doing song and dance stuff and everything's going on. And then they start doing the talkifying. And just then, somebody came in, tapped the chairman on the shoulder. The chairman left. And things went on. Then the chairman came back, took the microphone away from who was talking, and said, ladies and gentlemen, I beg your pardon, we do have to interrupt opening ceremonies. I looked at Soda Lime and the lawyer, I said, get your stuff, guys, we're leaving. Yeah, they'd gotten a phone call from some little prickly pear indicating that there was some sort of dangerous device on scene. So they had to get everyone out of the building. Okay, this is the first time this has ever happened to the fan, and they're like, okay, we don't have a plan for this. Let's just get everybody outside out of abundance of caution. I do want to state for the record, as a longtime emergency services professional myself, it was handled magnificently by the staff. They kept people calm. They got everybody out of the building in record time. No panic. Got everyone out into the parking lot and then kept pushing us back further and further. And while we were out there, a question came up. Because at this particular time, individual state laws were in flux about the legality of certain herbaceous substances. Now, my friend Soda Lime enjoys those herbaceous substances. And if you've seen the Soda Lime show, you would understand. For example, that time that I was on Soda Lime's show, where we had a green screen behind us, projecting some sort of image. Soda Lime actually owns a chroma key green bomb. So it doesn't show up on camera. I went to Soda Lime and I said, dude, you didn't bring any refreshments to this state, did you? And Soda Lime's face went stark white. let's talk to the lawyer. We went over to the lawyer. Lawyer's standing there with his cane and a cigarette. Damn it, Sam! No names mentioned, of course. You don't know who that is. We went to the lawyer. We said, excuse me, Mr. Lawyer. The police are searching every room for this device. If they're looking for a device, but they find refreshments, is that a problem? And lawyer said, yeah, he's boning. Fortunately, this is a furry convention. I can just imagine the security chief of this con and the police going into a room. Police, here we are police. The hell? What's that? That's a fursuit officer. What's it for? Oh, well, you see, you put it on and you pretend to be a raccoon. Okay? No bombs in it, right? We don't think so? Okay, Ray. Next room. Let's go. That was somebody else's sort. The thing is, I got my list of stories here. And as I mentioned when I first walked onto the stage, this has been an eventful convention already. The sword has come out 3 times. We have this little thing called the Con Horror Stories panel. Yeah. The rule is you have to wait 2 years because remember the old adage, tragedy plus time equals comedy. Ordinarily, we'll wait 2 years, and I'm not going to tell you tonight, I'm sorry, because some of it the lawyer is still dealing with. But as soon as possible, probably not me, probably Soda Lime will start talking about it, because it ain't his con, what's he care? So, often when I'm on this stage, especially in the past 4 years, and we all know the past 4 years were kind of messed up. Right. Time has sort of lost any meaning for me. I often cannot remember when or to whom I've told stories. So if this story is a repeat tale to you, again, I apologize. Number one, I'm old. I'm probably senile. Number two, I think this one bears repeating. I traveled to an unnamed convention in Hamburg, Germany. Run by an anonymous individual named Cheetah, who's sitting right there. Lawyer still gone?
Still gone.
Great. I went last year. My traveling companions were Ronnie, the dance guy, you know him? Yes. Excuse me, Ronnie. Hello. Inventor of Floor Wars, for goodness sake. Not only the second most popular event in furry fandom after Uncle Kage's story, oh, for God's sake. And a frail, delicate, dainty little old lady in a souped-up motor scooter named Grandma Kage. She's in a souped-up scooter here. At the airport, however, she has to rely on oh, she's here. Hi. Hi, Mom. She has to rely on airport wheelchair pushers. We were coming back from your unnamed convention in Hamburg, Germany. Last year, or the year before, or in 1860, I don't know. We were coming back from Germany. It might even been pre-war for all I know. And because we had a long layover before our next connection, we went to the club. Sometimes it's good to be the organizer of the convention that, oh, excuse me, would you kindly look up, yes, oh, yes, this is club access. It saved my bacon on a couple of occasions, I'll say. So, we went to the club and we were enjoying some refreshments, not soda lime style refreshments, but normal refreshments, like ordinary, normal drunks would drink. That's not what I meant to say. Trying very hard to sanitize that. Give me a second to collect my thoughts. All right, anyway, we were in the club. Here we are in the club, and we're going to make our next connection, and this is at Newark Airport in New Jersey. Somebody's from Jersey. So, at least an hour before boarding, we said to the people in the front, could you get a wheelchair for this nice lady here? And they said, certainly. Well, another 15 minutes went by. I couldn't help noticing we still don't have our wheelchair. Excuse me, do you have the wheelchair for the nice lady? Well, we called. I said, yes, that's very, very nice. I'm glad you called. Did they answer? How about you call again? Thank you very much. We did this 2 more times. We did this 2 more times. And it was getting close to boarding, and the wheelchair was still not there. Now, okay, did anybody fly here to this convention? Yeah. Okay, has anybody flown in the last 2 years? Yeah. You know that if you're not one of the first 8 people on the plane, you're not getting your stuff in the overhead, right? We had a lot of stuff because we had, Grandma Kage's makeup case. We had Ronnie's 8 fursuit heads. We had my corkscrew collection. So I said, okay, I'll tell you what. Since I have the status on this airline, I'll take all the stuff and I will go down there when they call for boarding for important, or I should say self-important people. I'll put all the stuff in the overhead. And then when the wheelchair gets here, Ronnie, you and Mom can come down here. It was a little awkward when I got down there with like these 20 packages for the overhead, and all these people look at me like I'm that guy. I'm telling the gate agent, I'm not that guy. I'm 3 guys. This is 3 people. She said, yeah, but you got 12 cases. I said, yes, but I'm important. Go away. Got onto the plane, put all the stuff in the overhead. That's it. Nobody else gets anything. Sorry. And I'm standing there waiting. And other people are boarding looking at me. And they're boarding, and I kept watching. They should be here any time now. They better be. All the other people boarded. Time is passing. And they started to get to the point where no more people were boarding, and they're making like gestures like they're going to close the door. I thought, what the hell? What do I do? Do I go home without him? Do I take this stuff and say, sorry, I got to get off the plane? I was coming close to panic. Close, not there. I was just getting to the point where I was going to start pulling stuff off. I saw the lady reaching for the door. And that's when I saw this little puff of white hair coming down the front. And behind it, I saw Ronnie. I can't do it justice, but it kind of looked like this. They came and sat down. Of course, we're in first class. I said, Ronnie, what? He said, excuse me, Miss Flight Attendant. Champagne, please. No. Bourbon. 3 of them. And she said, Reach? No. And Ronnie explained what had happened. The wheelchair never arrived. So Ronnie heroically said, well, Mom, maybe we have about 5 minutes to get to the plane. Maybe we'll try to walk it. Maybe we'll try to walk. He did his best. Now, Mom's still a very, very spry, active lady, but it's a half mile. We're talking Newark Airport here. And she was starting to get tired. She'd been traveling all day. And Ronnie was thinking, okay, he was right at the point. He thought, am I going to have to carry her piggyback? And then he noticed, here is an unattended wheelchair sitting in front of a ladies' room. There might still be a lady sitting in that ladies' room. He threw Mom into that thing, and with feet with wings, exceeding the speed of sound, pushing extra light travel, he made it there. I think the wheels on the wheelchair were melted into slag. He got her onto the plane in time, heroically. Story, and I said, dang, I am not going to stand for this. He said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to do what any red-blooded American would do in a situation like this. I'm going to tweet about it. Old man style. If you, actually, I gave it to Ronnie and dictated. I dictated, if you are at Newark Airport and you need a wheelchair, be prepared to miss your flight. That'll show it. The door closed. They gave us one final champagne, 3 more bourbons. And then the captain came on and said, can you put your phones into airplane mode, please? I went to put my phone in airplane mode. Oh, there's a reply to my tweet. Okay. It's from Newark Airport. We are so sorry to hear this. Please DM us and tell us what happened. I got time. I'm that guy in first class, right? I'm still there, right here. Yo, club, nice old lady, 1 wheelchair, no wheelchair, you guys suck, love you, bye. Got to our next destination. There was a wheelchair waiting this time. As we got off the plane, I took my phone out of airplane mode. And just as we crossed the threshold onto the jetway, my phone rang. United Airlines. Hello? Hello, this is United Airlines. Is this Dr. Conway? Yes. We understand you had a problem with the wheelchair service at Newark Airport. Would you please tell us what happened? Yeah, sure. Club, no wheelchair, 3 bourbons. Please check the bathroom for a skeleton, you know. They said, we're so sorry about the inconvenience. Could we offer you a $100 travel voucher? Oh, yeah. That's very nice. Thank you so much. Yes. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Hey, wait. I sent an angry Twitter. How did they know where to find me? Does United Airlines follow me on Twitter? I'll leave this here if that's okay. I mentioned. I'll go ahead and say it, Eurofurence. It is one of my absolute favorite conventions in the world. When I say I've got the best staff in the world, I mean it. They're a strong runner-up. Those guys put so much heart and soul into their show. If you get the opportunity to go to Eurofurence in Hamburg, it is spectacular. I was there this past year. Here I am in my first time in Hamburg, Germany. It's like, okay, what do we do? First time in Hamburg. Let's go to a Brazilian restaurant. That sounds good. So the restaurant was like it was like sub street level, little thing. You go down some stairs, and the restaurant proper was over here. But they had this little like semi-private dining room off to the side. So we were sat down in a little semi-private dining room. And the Brazilian waitress came. I'm sorry, is the Brazil Fur Fest contingent here, by chance? Because they can back me up on this. When the waitress came by and handed us the drink menu, of course, much of it is in Portuguese. This is an authentic Brazilian restaurant. I'm looking down the list. Cachaça de jambu. Yeah. You can look it up. She came by, I said, Jambu, proceed. And she looked at me and she said, do you know what that is? I said, si. She said, and you still want it? I said, si. So she brought it to me. And it was lovely. It tends to make you a little silly. So we then had a wine course, and of course we had a wine glass. I can't resist doing this thing on the wine glass. So I got it going. Everyone at the table's like, Kage! And that's what I heard around the corner. It was Kage! See, at my age, you really have to be careful with sudden frights like that, because I could drop dead at any moment. And then you'll be in charge. Praying for the light. I live in a condominium. I have a very, very nice older couple downstairs. And there have been a few instances where the ambulance has been called because they're an older couple and there have been some scares. So I kind of look after them. As I say to all of the folks in my condo complex, neighbors have to look out for each other because who else is going to? And I believe that. I believe that strongly. We have to look out for our neighbors. And the lady downstairs had told me she'd been having some trouble with the electricity in her bathroom, which is right below mine. Something kept causing the circuit breaker to trip. They'd had an electrician out twice, and the electrician had not been able to find any problem. So she said, could you have a look? I said, well, if the electrician can't find anything, I don't know if I could. But I'll tell you what, there's a furry coming from Norway in a couple of months. He'll look at that for you. He's an electrician. If you've ever watched my wine stream, you know who I'm talking about. I just saw him run out. A few days later, I went out for my morning run. Yeah, I'm a flabby old bastard, but I try to stay in shape. Every morning I run 2 miles. Actually, I sit and watch other people run 2 miles. No, honestly, there's a lake behind my house. I run 2 miles around the lake in my vain, pathetic, comical attempt to cling to my faded youth. This was last spring. I went out and I did my run and I came in, all sweaty of it. I'm gonna need a shower. 6, 2, 1, right?
Yes.
I was just reaching for the shower faucet when I heard the hell? Did I actually hear that? Went to reach again. I went running out the room. I called my neighbor downstairs. I said, okay, that thing down there, is it happening now? And she said, no, I don't think so. Are you sure nothing's going on down there? And she said, yeah. I said, did you just hear that loud buzz? And she said, yes, but that was in your phone. It wasn't down here. Okay, let me call you back. When the bathroom, this is when you start feeling the wall around all the wall switches for like hot. Sniffing, do you smell ozone? No? And I looked in the mirror. And I dialed my neighbor. I said, it's okay. I found the problem. Don't worry. Because looking in the mirror, there was a cicada sitting on my shoulder. If you don't know, a cicada is a very, very large insect known for its very loud buzzing noise. I don't know. Oh, let's try Google Translate here. Oh, cicada. What are you doing on my shoulder? Aren't you my Uber? No. The app said old white guy. There's a lot of us. How about I take you outside? So I went outside. I'm like, okay, how about you buzz off now? Right? Oh, 5 stars. All of my stories are true. That story I embellished slightly. I won't tell you what parts I embellished, other than to tell you it was 3 stars. What time I got? Okay. Somebody asked the programming director what time I should. What's in here after this? Checking.
Yeah, it's going to be us, so keep going.
Okay, great. So I write down like titles to stories here and try to remember. I do like to travel. I went to mostly furry conventions now that I think about it. I went to Confuzzled last year in Great Britain. It's in Birmingham. Okay, this is going to be tough for Vic because they leave out all these syllables. So he's going to like be is what he's going to say. And British people go like, oh, yes, okay. And I was visiting my dear friend Drax. If you've ever watched the Wine Stream, the Wine Stream Symphony, the composer of the Wine Stream Symphony is Drax. He tries to pass himself off as a bastard, and he is, but he's actually a very good host. He invited me to stay at his house in York while I was over there. So I went, and he was showing me around York, and one of the things that I wanted to do when I'm in England, especially one of the oldest cities in England. Many of you know I do have a predilection to wearing hats. I like to wear a bowler, or a derby as they call it in this country. If I'm in England, I said to Drax, is there a proper hat store? I want to get a proper English bowler. Drax knew of one. And we went, I looked in the window, and I could see hats galore. It was spectacular. I felt like King Charles, only less of a jerk. Anyway, I can say that because I'm American. I guess. And I went in. It was superb. It was like visiting the set of To the Manor Born or something. All these wonderful hats on brass stands. There was an elegant lady, she was of Chinese descent, standing behind the counter. And I thought, this is going to be grand. I'm going to go up to this lady, and I'm going to say, I beg your pardon, madam. I come from the United States, but I have come here because I would like to purchase a fine English bowler. Would you be able to help me with that? I was rehearsing this. I was all ready. And I went up to this nice lady of Chinese descent. And I went up, and I said, and she said, what size hat do you need for big head? I looked over at Drax. She said, well? I said, that one? She went, this too small. You come back tomorrow. I didn't buy a hat from that store. Let's see if there's anything on here. You see, if the lawyer was still here, I could tell the stories of Amish youth gangs marauding across the Pennsylvania countryside. But he'd have to be here for that. My what? Actually, the answer to that question is no. If it's from your reference, I barely remember any of it. Because of age. Age and senility. Age and senility. It's true. All I know is that I have been in the furry fandom perhaps longer than just about anyone in this room. I have been invited literally all around the world. I performed on stages large and small. I have heard the laughter of people and I have heard compliments in so very, very many languages. But all of them furry. And that's the beautiful thing. Furry transcends all barriers of culture and nationality. If you take nothing else away from this evening, I just want you to remember, you are all a part of a community that has achieved something that the world has been seeking for years. And let me illustrate it this way. Some years ago, we still had message boards. Remember those? Eurofurrents had a message board. The 90s called. They want their message board back. When you signed up for the message board at Eurofurrents, because they're a very cosmopolitan organization, it would ask you your nationality, and then when you posted, it would have the flag of your country next to your name. I still recall logging on to the Eurofurrents message board, and here was a post with the flag of Israel. Middle East furry here. Anybody else? The very next one, the flag of Saudi Arabia. Mideast fur here. That will never happen outside of this magnificent community. God bless you all for what you are. You've all been very kind, but I've had my hour on stage. What you couldn't hear is the phone message is blowing up. So as chairman of this convention, I hope that you will excuse me. I'm going to turn this microphone over to who's next? I'm going to turn it over to Rebecca. What? But someone's got to keep these people busy. I'll turn it over to Vic. Actually, all right, anyway. Relax. When Alkaline gets here, we'll continue. But once again, thank you very much.